Right, good afternoon. I obviously have the captured audience who are either here to receive an award or who are waiting for the cocktails because there's too much traffic. So I'm going to go very fast through something that is quite quick to go through in any case. I will, with pleasure, make my presentation available afterwards because there are some questionnaires in it, which if we'd had some time, you would have been able to do today. So firstly, I'd like to just ask you, and I'd like you to think about it for a second while you're still coming into the room. Why are you here? Yeah, sitting here right now. So what is your purpose for being here? And perhaps it is for the drinks afterwards or to acknowledge that your company has won something. But maybe you're here because you are trying to learn something. And in terms of characteristics or traits or strengths in terms of character, it's stated that the closest route to happiness is through gratitude. And I quite like that one, which means that maybe just for a second you should be grateful that you are here and not sitting in the traffic right now, and hopefully you will learn something in the process as well. So if you think about it, if this is the answer that your teacher gave you, and it's quite a common answer, is that you're born, then there's some stuff that happens, and then you die. Very often I feel that when you start speaking to managers or leaders, and remember those are not always the same people, this is exactly what they're doing at work. They're doing some stuff. So there doesn't seem to be much purpose or meaning to what it is that they're doing there. And the problem with that is that how can you feel that you are making a real contribution to your life, not to your employer, to your life, if you have no purpose or meaning in what you're doing every day in your workplace? So I'd like you to sort of self-introspect while you're going through this in terms of saying, what is it that you do? If you are a manager, and I'm sure many of you are, what's your purpose as a manager? Is it to make sure everybody does their job? Is it to make sure you meet targets? Or is there something deeper and perhaps more meaningful connected to it? One of the things that we need to make very sure of is to understand that a purpose is not only something someone else can give you. So a company can give you a vision. I love these vision and mission statements. Nobody ever understands them. Hey, it's only the person who wrote them. Have you noticed that? You laugh. The most important thing is that you as a manager, do you know what it is that you're doing there? When last did you ask yourself the question? When last did you ask your team if they know what they're doing there other than earning a paycheck? And those kind of things need to become relevant every day in your leadership and in your management, because that allows you to create purpose for yourself, meaning for yourself, and to role model purpose and meaning into the rest of your teams as well. If you think about your purpose, I found my purpose in life. So if we Google it nowadays, Peter asked me before the time, so how do I now find this purpose? Give me a test quickly. And I said, there are actually some tests. You can Google what is my purpose. It'll actually give you some answers as well. Some people search for purpose their whole life. Sometimes that's people's purpose, is to search for meaning and to search for why they're doing what they're doing. And that's a terrible answer to the question, but so be it. But it is important that in a company, purpose is connected to profit. There's nothing wrong with that. There needs to, however, be synergy between the two. If there's no real connection between what we do at work every day and how we make money as a company, how on earth are you leading your people? How on earth are you being led? And that's the idea behind meaningful management and leadership, that there's a concept of purpose and meaning behind what it is that you're doing. What is meaning? That's also a difficult question, because for every single person this is different. Very interesting studies internationally have been done to see, is there any real answer? And the answer is no, there is no real answer. It's an individual answer. So what you decide is meaningful for you is not the same as for the person sitting next to you. And there comes my ultimate problem with performance management bonuses, because those are not very meaningful for very many people as soon as they've left their bank accounts. So we do need to have a look at that. I'm not going to do the questionnaires, so now I've got a little meaningful catch in for you as well. Hey, you want the questionnaires, you're going to have to contact me to get them, okay? But if you have a look at some of the character strengths and virtues that are connected to what makes us the strong, unique, beautiful, amazing creatures that we are, there are many universal traits connected to them, and I started by saying that one of the strongest ones is the concept of gratitude, the ability to feel thankful for small things. My teenager daughter is very unhappy with everything at the moment in the world, as teenage daughters are. And when she complained about her legs yesterday, I said to her, well, perhaps she needs to consider the fact that she has legs. That doesn't really help a teenage daughter. But the point is, that is what I'm saying. Find little things that you can be grateful for. And scientific research, real scientific research has proven that that is a closer route towards happiness than anything else. How often do you have any form of identification of what you can be grateful for at work? All I see nowadays, and I'm a consultant, I go into all of your companies, and all I see is spoiled brats. Sorry, but I do. You moan about the food you get at lunchtime, and I'm going, wow, free food, and you're moaning about it. Yeah. You moan about the bus that you have to take to your conference or whatever it is being uncomfortable, and I'm going, wow, you've got a bus that's taking you to your conference. How often do you get your staff, your team, and yourself to focus on what is absolutely great about where you work? Even if it is as simple as that you don't work on the 8th floor because the lift never works. Okay? You can find positives in negatives if you have to, and I know that's a little irritating for most people. I'm going to skip all of these ones and just go through to one of the biggest problems. I'm busy with a very large graduate program study at the moment as part of my thesis for next year. And one of the things that I keep seeing is that we seem to be having a problem with gratitude. And there seems to be a connection to entitlement. So we all throw this word around all the time, hey? We're entitled to a whole bunch of things. We hear lovely things about graduate programs, now internships for 10,500 Rand a month. And I'm thinking we're paying people to learn to work for us afterwards. And there seems to be a sense of that we now have to pay them more and more in order for them to become and be taught to learn how to work for us. Seems something odd here, hey? Seems something odd. And I think that's the kind of thing we need to start looking at. What is it that we're expecting versus what are we grateful for? Are we grateful that we've been able to become a graduate, or are we expecting the stipend? Are we grateful that we have a brain which has allowed us to go and learn new things? Or are we expecting the salary, the BMW, the whatever that's connected to it? We've got to change our thinking because we're in for train smashers. Okay. This is how a lot of graduates, a lot of employees, maybe even a lot of you sitting here feel. There's this concept all the time between those in your team who can't do a damn thing, and those in your team who won't do a damn thing, and you in the middle with a trolley that can't go anywhere then. We felt how frustrated it is when you know that there is enough ability in your team, and yet you're not able to meet any of your requirements ever. And that's part of this process of saying, what is it that we need to do? I don't have all the answers, but I will tell you one of them. Those who can't must be skilled. Now, obviously, IPD is a skills development strategist par excellence. Hey, our job is to train mentors, by the way, that everybody was talking about. But we've got to skill those who can't, because not being able to will demotivate me, will allow me to not work properly, will make me start making up excuses. And you find, especially among the young high flyers, they have a sense of imposter syndrome. Ever heard of it? They keep waiting to be caught out. Yeah. That they don't really know as much as what everybody seems to think they know. Even though they do, hey, It's actually just insecurity. But imposter syndrome is part of this. It disallows them to tell you they don't know how to do something. It disallows them in your PDPs, which no one does in any case, to tell you that they have gaps in their critical work that they are getting somebody else to do and buying them a beer on a Friday for. So they're making very clever plans instead of remaining clever in what they're doing. And you as managers are very often unaware of it. The other option, obviously, is to build engaged staff. So those who won't, we need to engage with them. And there's no one-size-fits-all model for this. It's about the characters of the people you have. My first question always when managers say to me, please fix my staff, is who are they? Do you know who they are? And it doesn't help telling me there's 800 of them. Who are they? Because you can't fix them if you don't know them. Because what character strengths do they have that you can harness? What are the things that will motivate them? If you don't know that, you can't build a one-size-fits-all model in order to motivate your staff. It doesn't work in that way. Engaged managers and leaders will role play and role what needs to happen in a company. Why is it that you have pockets of excellence in your company? One or two departments that are just super fantastic. What's going on there? You know? It's the leaders there. Not necessarily the manager. It's the leaders that are there. And usually they have an emphasis on a love of learning, which, by the way, is another road to happiness, in case you were wondering. But things like understanding that you as a manager and a leader need to be the glue that keeps productivity together and relationships together. And that's not having a braai on a Friday. It can be that, I suppose, but that's not the way to do it. It's about making sure people understand that you are sure why you are there. Are you sure you know why you are at work? And I hope you don't go all into work tomorrow and resign. So this is what we don't want, and which I find a lot of leadership training is about. So we want little automated leaders. Okay, they must all look the same. Okay, and they've got smiles on their faces, but they all look exactly the same. Hey, I'd much rather have this group here on this side. So would Google, by the way. So would Virgin. So would some of the best companies in the world. Their leaders don't look like that. And maybe it's time for us to have a look at that and stop worrying about what suits all of our graduates are wearing. So just a few things. If any of you are interested or you have graduate programs that you're running, I will be doing this research from 2016, so now I'm punting myself for 5 seconds, but it's actually for your benefit. Come and share your graduates in terms of what it is that they are learning. The ideal is, or the result will be, hopefully, a profile of what makes a healthy graduate, because you need healthy graduates. These graduates perform exceptionally well during their 18 months, 12 months, however long they're there. Then they're placed. Have you noticed what happens to them then? It's like little balloons that just psh. And we've got that. What does that help then? We've spent all this time, money, effort, love, tears on getting these people to learn our businesses. As soon as they're placed into the positions, gone. So we've got to be able to, and yes, that's the softer issues. We've got to teach them the resilience they need and what they need to do after that. So I'm cutting mine very short.
Thank you
and
very
thank
much.
you very much.
Fantastic.